There's been quite a lot of damage from the wind. That storm that we had. We didn't really notice it at home. We're only, 30 miles, 40 miles down the road. And but up here it's been taking down branches from trees quite a lot. It is most definitely winter. It's just like we're only sort of, what is it, the 10th of December, and I normally call that late autumn. At winter, it certainly feels like. This is a Roman road, and it travels across the country in a straight line, not like some of the Roman roads that I've come up with before from the Roman charters. This one's dead straight, and it goes between Bourne on the Water and up north. Oh God, is it Alcester, something like that? That's not north, that's Midlands. But anyway, I've recently been shown the context of the landscape based around what was said in Anglo-Saxon charters. They're our oldest documents, really, to explain the landscape as seen through the eyes of the ancients, and they don't really go much further than about 1200 years ago. But they do give us nuggets of information. So, for example, this one. It is described in the boundary clause of the Charter of Swell, Upper Swell, well, Upper and Lower Swell, and no, Upper Swell. Anyway, it shows this this landscape, who owns it, and what part of the landscape was owned, and that gives us names of things. And there's a Roman road cutting along the edge of it, and they named that. There's also another saltway as well, which I'll go into later. But this is interesting because we can give this a name that it's lost. It's certainly lost at this part of its route, up by old Saintbury, I think. It still has the name that I'm going to give it in a minute, but it doesn't down here. That's been given. Its name has been given to a road to the west of here, which it shouldn't have been. It was misnamed. I'm on what the charter calls Hundes Hylle, which is the Hound's Hill, the hill of the dog, and on top of it is what it says stret beorge. We get that stret word again. Stret, strata, stratum. It means Roman road, and it's dead straight. Sometimes I start to doubt the definition of a strat being a Roman road, and then I get a lovely road like this. Now, Finnberg came up here. I've been suffering some doubt recently. The old black dog has come visiting. I'm a bit melancholic in my confidence in what I'm saying at the moment. I think I've stuck my neck out too far. So I am going to fully follow Finnberg, the academic, his solving of this charter. Not just because I trust academics, but secondly, if I am wrong in what I'm saying, if one of you budding scientists out there can prove I'm wrong, it's not my fault, it's Finnberg's. But that's what the black dog will do for you. But he came up here and he said there's no sign of the stret beorge today, and that means the bower of the street. I'm stood on it. It is the walls on either side of the street of the lane widen at this point to fit the barrow in. I think it's much distorted the barrow, I think the farmer is taking a bit of the barrow to make his field. But I can, after doing this for several years, you can see there's undulations that tell you an excavation has taken place here. So this is the Åestriht. There are other barrows in this charter. There's two others named in this short stretch from the village up the hill, and there's hættes laÖe, which is the laÖe of hat, or hatter, or hatti, can't remember, but they are, and another, the longam, which is the long barrow. And so along this ridge here from the village up here, there has been barrows placed. Not quite on top, but it's in a sort of rough line. And the charter here takes a left down. Takes a left here on this line of what is recorded in a very straight line of walls, stone walls, dry stone walls, is
Grenan way, the green way.
So we're building up a road network, a map of roads, not necessarily Roman, though the absolute straightness of it should give us a clue that there might be, or it might be related in some sense to a Roman boundary. And then it goes on to Grenan way, which we're going to go and have a look at in a minute. But I just thought I'd show you this. So how come we've got a barrow on top of a Roman road? Well, there's several parts to that. One, Romans did use barrows as sighting points for their surveyors to find their way across the country. That's one thing, because they stick out in the landscape. But we have to consider, would the Romans really have built a road over the top of a barrow? And I don't think they would, which leads us to a second possibility. Not all barrows are Bronze Age or Neolithic. The Saxons themselves, Anglians in this case, Saxons is a good shorthand term, but it was the Anglians that owned this part of the country. But they themselves built barrows to bury their dead. It was part of their taking ownership of the country, to place themselves within the customs, within the landscape of the people that came before. They were showing themselves inheriting that landscape, the chattels of those people. And it is possible that they built on top of a... It's not just a Roman road, it's a crossing, as I pointed out. It's the Fildéan way and the stræt. It's also on the highest point around. Well, that's pretty Anglo-Saxon. But it could be the most significant place to plant a prince and to dispatch him to the afterlife. And so I'm wondering whether that might be the case. So it's just stuff I'm making up as I'm walking on. Because making up is the wrong word. Considering, judging, analysing, and that's part of our job as landscape men and women, is to analyse, come up with a theory based on data, but nonetheless, we're not just going to leave it to the academics. There is no barbed wire on the other side of this hedge. There is no electric fence. There are cattle over there, which means that laid hedge there, using traditional techniques, is keeping those animals in that enclosure, in that field. And we are witnessing, hallelujah, how many hedges have I shown you on these videos recently? And not one of them had animals in it without barbed wire on the other side or electric fence. I'm absolutely overjoyed to see that. I highly respect, I mean it looks weak as hell, but I respect them. Oh, it's working. It has to work. Now it used to have, I can see a post, oh no, maybe it's not. But what you can see, you see these horizontal, so these horizontal branches, they've been cut halfway through at their base and then pushed down onto the ground to make the first part of a fence. And these shoots have come upwards, vertical shoots have come up to thicken it out. And that is how to do it. Now it doesn't look that impermeable to me, but it's obviously working. Well, it's certainly working. Will it work with sheep? I'm not sure about that. Or pigs. It definitely works for those cows. So I commend the farmer. Congratulations for using a traditional agricultural technique. Having established we're in the right place, what's this name of this road then? Well, to the west there's a road called ڵestriht today, and that gives us a clue. It's been redirected for some reason, but in the Anglo-Saxon charter this is called buggilde stræt, which may very well be beorge and the daughter of Neithad and victim of ŵeallan the Smith.
buggilde stræt and ڵestriht both go to the same places, but ڵestriht is longer, it takes a detour. And the reason it takes a detour is because the Middle Ages happened and the Roman Empire collapsed. Now, buggilde, as you might suspect, becomes corrupt, becomes buckle. So they're both ڵestriht. So why did ڵestriht, the one we know today, divert? And the reason for that is the Roman Empire was an organised, modern, progressive state that was able to build its roads as essentially causeways, ÄGEs, that kept your feet dry. And in the Middle Ages, they couldn't do that. They didn't have the technology, they certainly didn't have the money. And this should be a warning to all of us that civilizations can go backwards as well as forwards. So Buckle Street is a diversion, an inefficient diversion, but one that kept their feet dry when they were unable to make causeways, or unable to make causeways of any length. And as you can see, it doesn't cross any rivers and doesn't go down into any major valleys, whereas buggilde strat does. It crosses a river and goes into a deep valley here. And it is for that reason that I think that Buckle Street got diverted in this way. I hope you've enjoyed watching me put back an old name to an old feature in the landscape, recorded in the English Anglo-Saxon charters. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it, please watch this one next. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Ta-da for now.